Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kevin Costner admits massive regret in 1987 crime film as he says, "I wish I was better." Kevin Costner regrets starring in an Academy Award-winning movie. 2024 has been anything but an easy year for the actor. Costner has had to watch his ex-wife Christine Baumgartner move on shortly after their nasty divorce. He also faced a career setback after leaving Yellowstone for a $100 million passion project that flopped. The actor's rough year has left him rethinking past decisions, including ones that date back to the beginning of his career. During the 1980s, Costner starred in several hit films like No Way Out, Field of Dreams, and Silverado. It wasn't long for him to climb his way to the top of Hollywood and become an Oscar-winning actor and director. While many believed his skills were remarkable, the actor seems to think otherwise. His first lead role was in the 1987 film, The Untouchables, where he played a federal agent, Elliot Ness, assigned to expose Italian mobster Al Capone, played by Robert De Niro. Costner revealed to The Independent that the opportunity caught him off guard. He hadn't been so fortunate beforehand. He admitted, "No one gave me a chance." The actor revealed that he did everything he could to be in Hollywood, including sleeping in his truck by Sunset Boulevard. "I knew I needed to come into Hollywood every day, I just didn't know where to go," he said. Once he landed the role, his inexperience left him insecure among the star-studded cast. "I certainly didn't know how it worked," he shared. "My character was very straight arrow, and Robert was able to jump off the page," Costner explained. "I was trying to survive with my straight arrow language against someone who was throwing a level of street language at me that had a level of improv to it, so it was hard for me to survive in some of those scenes," he admitted. "I wish I was a better actor when I did The Untouchables, but I was where I was at." Fortunately, Costner didn't let his lack of confidence bring him down and instead used the film as a way to learn from the cast, specifically Sean Connery. "He was good to me. And I learned a lot because my eyes were open," he confessed. In a moment of raw vulnerability, Kevin Costner, the iconic actor whose career has spanned decades, recently opened up about his role in the 1987 crime film The Untouchables. Known for its intense narrative and memorable performances, The Untouchables has long been regarded as a classic. Yet, despite the accolades the film garnered and his performance as Elliot Ness, Costner now admits a sense of regret, one that might surprise fans who once revered his work. "I wish I was better," he says, reflecting on his portrayal of the determined, albeit slightly stiff, lawman. The film, which chronicled the battle between notorious gangster Al Capone, played by Robert De Niro, and the law enforcement officers determined to bring him down, marked a pivotal moment in Costner's career. It was a film that thrust him into the spotlight as a leading man in Hollywood, following his earlier successes in Silverado and No Way Out. Yet despite the success of The Untouchables and its place in cinematic history, Costner has always been his own harshest critic. "It was a time in my life when I was still trying to figure out what kind of actor I wanted to be," he confessed. "I had just come off No Way Out, and I felt this immense pressure." The film was set against such a powerful backdrop, with a cast that included the likes of De Niro and Sean Connery. "I found myself trying to hold my own, but there were times I just didn't feel I did. I wasn't the strongest actor in the room. I wish I had been better." Costner's regrets are not rooted in any specific shortcomings with the film or the performance itself, but rather in his personal journey as an actor. His role in The Untouchables required him to portray a man who was unwavering, cool under pressure, and a steadfast figure in the face of danger. While these traits certainly align with the character of Elliot Ness, Costner admits that the emotional depth required for the role was something he struggled to convey at the time. "The role demanded a kind of emotional control, a level of confidence that honestly I didn't feel I had back then," Costner explains. Ness was a man trying to find justice in a world full of corruption. "But as an actor, I wasn't always sure how to make that come through in every scene. There was an element of tension in my performance that I now see was a reflection of my own uncertainties." While The Untouchables was widely praised, especially for its sharp direction by Brian De Palma and its historical accuracy, Costner's introspective take on his work highlights a deeper self-awareness. In the years since the film's release, Costner has become known for his commanding presence in films like Dances with Wolves, Field of Dreams, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, each of which showed him in roles that allowed him to grow more comfortable with emotional expression and vulnerability. But it was his earlier roles that shaped the foundation for the actor he would become, and in looking back, Costner is not afraid to acknowledge that his journey was less than perfect. I think every actor in some way experiences that feeling of "I could have done better," Costner continues. It's easy to look at the success of a film and think that everything turned out just fine, but I think real growth happens when we acknowledge our flaws. You learn from them. And The Untouchables was an important part of that learning process. Costner's reflections are not an indictment of The Untouchables, nor do they suggest that the film was anything less than successful. Rather, it is a glimpse into the mindset of an actor who holds himself to the highest standards. It's a rare moment of introspection that reveals the complexity of his career and the evolution of his craft. Interestingly, Costner's regret is not about missing the mark in terms of audience reception or box office success. He openly admits that the film's lasting impact and its position as a cult classic have ensured that it will remain a significant part of his legacy. The regret he expresses is personal, a desire to have been able to elevate the character of Eliot Ness to a level of emotional authenticity he didn't feel capable of achieving at the time. "I don't think I truly understood the depth of the character in the way I do now," Costner shares. "Looking back, I wish I had been more confident in bringing the human side of Eliot Ness to the forefront. We all know him as a lawman, but there's also a real man beneath that image, someone who is deeply affected by the choices he has to make. In some scenes, I feel like I could have shown more of that." Costner's openness about his regrets and growth as an actor paints a picture of someone who is constantly evolving in his craft. It is this self-awareness that has allowed him to continue thriving in Hollywood for decades, from his sweeping epics to his more intimate performances in recent years. The Untouchables remains a beloved classic, and for many fans, Costner's portrayal of Eliot Ness is an essential part of its success. However, it's clear that for the actor himself, the experience of working on the film was about more than just delivering lines or fitting into a historical role. It was about learning and growing, finding new ways to approach his craft, and ultimately becoming the actor he is today. Looking ahead, Costner is continuing to take on diverse roles that allow him to stretch beyond the boundaries of the characters that first brought him fame. With a career that now spans over 40 years, he has shown no signs of slowing down. But as he reflects on the past, The Untouchables holds a special place in his heart, not as a regret, but as a pivotal moment in his development as an actor. "I've done a lot of films, but The Untouchables was one of those that helped shape me," Costner says with a sense of pride. "And yes, I wish I was better, but that's what pushes me to keep trying to improve, to keep striving to be better in every role I take on." For fans of The Untouchables, Costner's retrospective comments may come as a surprise, but in many ways they speak to the depth of his commitment to his craft. Through his regret, we see an actor who is ever in search of new ways to grow and challenge himself, a lesson not just for his career, but for life itself.